All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. And shalom to the hopeful elect on the highways and byways, pushing this truth. It's your brother Rabbi Nap coming out with another lesson. Lord willing, is edifying. All right, hey man. It is what it is out here, man. It is what it is, man. I'm just watching, I didn't even watch the fight last night, but supposedly Jake Paul won the fight, man. You know. But when I was watching it, I was thinking how much of an enchantment that Esau is trying to use right now to get everyone focused and give you this free match. Okay, nothing comes for free. Let's believe Esau did something. So I'm waiting for the news to see what he did out there in the Middle East. I'm waiting to hear the tragedies that happened. What laws got passed last night. Because that's what he does. Esau uses what you call enchantments. Okay? Matter of fact, let's start there, man. Let's start in the book of Isaiah, 47th chapter. Don't get me wrong, I mean, I like boxing, man, but nowadays, you know, 20 million for a fight, 40 million, man. When boxing first started, boxers weren't making money like that, man. That shit's paid off, man. People are paid off. You think Mike Tyson, look what he did with the last exhibition he had not too long ago. Come on, I want to see you fight Roy Jones Jr. You think you're tough, man. Come on, man, get the hell out of here. But hey, y'all getting richer in this world. That's what y'all do. Go ahead, enjoy it. It's the book of Isaiah 47 and verse 12. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries. Yes, it's sorcery that he's using. And he's using the TV to do it, okay? That's why it's channeling spirits onto you to keep you in darkness on what he's doing behind the scenes. Okay, this damn devil, he's actually doing something, man, but he got you focused on Jake and Mike Tyson, man. Okay. Wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. Yeah, he's labored to be, he's been doing this shit for a long time. He's the wicked, man. He's that serpent that was in the garden. He's been doing this forever. Okay. If be so, thou shalt be able to profit. Yeah, so these enchantments you should be able to profit. You've been practicing for this long, so it should never fail you. You have the most practice in wickedness. You know how to deceive people. You know how to lie, right? So it should profit you. So why would you change and start serving the Lord? There's no profit into serving the Lord. If so be thou mayest prevail. Yeah, if so be thou mayest prevail with your enchantments. Since you labor from your youth, you've been practicing, right? So these enchantments should continue to keep working for you, Esau, right? Verse number 13, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Yeah, you're wearied, you're tired in the multitude of your counsels, man. You have all these meetings trying to take us down, but somehow, some way, how did we get this knowledge, Esau? Where did this knowledge come from? We didn't get this in Harvard University. We didn't get this in MIT University, okay? Because they don't teach you about the Lord in your infrastructure, man. They don't teach you about the Lord. So how do we obtain this knowledge, Esau? You got to think about that. All your enchantments, all your sorceries, we were still able to get this. How did that happen, Esau? Let now the astrologers, what Esau likes to do at this G7 summits, he likes to sit down, right? He sits down with the nations around the world. But what they do is they look at how the stars are aligned. They'll see, okay, we'll see Saturn. Saturn is actually like the planet of Satan. People don't know that. Or Venus, Salakia. And what they do is they line it up. They look at the moon. Oh, it's a full moon. We look at the position of Venus. Oh, Satan's going to answer us. We're going to pass Bill Project 2025 today. How about we do that? The stargazers. Yeah, so he has people that's what they do. They always been, look, they got NASA, they got all these stars, but they have people who, they use this old ancient, these ancient ways that people don't know about anymore. They forgot about the ancient ways. They think the people were stupid back then. That's what people think nowadays. But in all actuality, they were more in tune with the stars. They were more in tune with what, that they knew that there was a Lord. Not like today, not like us today. The monthly prognosticators, yeah, you got a monthly prognostication. So they telling you, you know, your, what do you call it? Your zodiac, you know. Yeah, you're gonna grow up to be this, that, and the third. They can tell you all this shit. How old are you? You know, what's your father's last name? You know, you give them some little details and they tell you all the shit. Oh, let me look at your hand. Let me see how the lines in your hand. I can tell you if you're gonna be wealthy or not. If not, matter of fact, if you pay me, I can show you how to get wealthy. And people believe that, okay? It's called witchcraft, all right? And a lot of our women, men, and children, they practice it, whether they know it or not. Majority of them do know that they're witches, okay? And only the elect men know that y'all are witches. Everyone else, they're amazed by a woman's beauty. Oh my gosh, she got a big butt. That's how our people are. They're carnal, okay? You're not supposed to be looking at another man's wife, but they push that upon the people. By the way, brother, I know I don't want to waste your time because we are the Israelites, bro. When I'm doing up here, I'm telling that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we're Israel. But we're in Babylon. We're in captivity. And our people don't know that, and they're happy to be here. Meanwhile, look at what's happening to our land. People are fighting over that land, right? People are saying it's their land. And our people are here wanting to build their house here, wanting to establish themselves here. When your land, when the Lord's land is being trampled upon. You know what I'm saying? But his people are over here in captivity, and they ain't calling out for him. They don't care about him.
How do we fall in this fallen state?
How did we fall into it? Well, he was giving us, when we came out of Egypt, we went into the wilderness. He saved us. We were in slavery to the Egyptians. See, nowadays they tell us, oh, you're black, so you go back. Everyone goes back to Africa. That's what this world teaches you. But no, the Egyptians were African, okay? And they had the Israelites in slavery. Those were our enemies. When someone enslaves you, brother, that's not your friend. You know what I'm saying? But telling you that you're an Egyptian or you're a Hamite, because Noah had 3 sons, all right? Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Out of those 3 sons that Noah had, you see all these people. But out of Shem, that's where Israel came from. Israel was a person before it's a land. That's where we came from. Because are you a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American? So you're an Israelite, okay? So the problem is we're in slavery. The Lord said, you know, I'm gonna raise up some prophets. I want Moses to go talk to Pharaoh and tell him, let my people go. And he told them, you know, when you read that in the book of Exodus, which means exit, he let us go. We went through the Red Sea. He collapsed the Red Sea on Pharaoh, right? We go into the wilderness. Moses goes up Mount Sinai. The Most High gives him the first 5 books of the Bible. These are the law, statutes, and commandments. And the people at the bottom of the mountain was us. He came to us and said, these are my law, statutes, and commandments. Because when you think about this is how I like to think of it, brother. When you're trying to establish a nation, they're gonna need laws. They're gonna need rules that they're gonna have to stand by, right? But there has to be a way that you can implement your law in order for it to stand, right? So that's what he did. He's like, when you think of the Most High, think of somebody who has the ability to give you this, the perfect law. When you come back to your knowledge and understanding, you're gonna start looking at God's law and you're gonna see, wow, these laws are righteous, man. I see why didn't we follow these laws? These laws are perfect. Why isn't this world doing it? They got all this capability, but they refuse to establish these laws down here. Why is that? And that's the question that's gonna provoke thought to get you to know. That's how the Lord's gonna get you back to him. He's gonna show you, see, you messed up. But I took this knowledge away from you because in your past life, you didn't follow me. In the past life, you refused to follow the laws. And we did that as a nation. We started following the rest of these other nations. See, if we're the children of God, people are supposed to follow us. If we're following them, then we're saying it's okay to be wicked. That's why everyone looks up to, you might see a so-called African, he might be rapping. People will gather around him and listen to him rap. Like, wow, man, this dude's nice. You know what I'm saying? But if he starts talking about the Lord, there's only one person here. You see what I'm saying? But that's us. When we come back to the Lord, people are going to be like, yo, now I see why we should be following the Lord. You know what I mean? But we're too caught up in this wickedness. We're too caught up in basketball, football, baseball. Distractions, right? Because he wants us to do that, which is Esau, Edom, which is the so-called white man, by the way. And I call him the so-called white man because he's actually our brother. Israel, who is Jacob, had a brother named Esau, when you read about that in the Bible. Okay, so they were twin brothers. But Esau, what the Lord said, he said, I'm gonna do something new with these two twin babies. I'm gonna make one wicked and one righteous. But the wicked are gonna be wicked, they're gonna do what they gotta do. And in the end, I'm gonna destroy them. But the righteous, I'm gonna put them through a bunch of shit. All right? I'm gonna chastise them the whole way through, all the way, because they're gonna have immortality. They're gonna be ruling forever. This is my people. I chose them to go into Egypt. I put them in Egypt. You get what I'm saying? And I put you under the Assyrian captivity. And I put you under the Roman captivity, the Greek captivity, modern day 2.0, America, which is the Roman 2.0. So that's why a lot of the architecture that you see, a lot of the philosophies that they believe, they say in this world you only live once. You know, that's a philosophy that people actually believe in. But the Lord said, no, you don't live once. As a matter of fact, I control your spirit. And I put you down here every fourth generation just so you can get judged for the sins you committed last time you were here. So this is all judgment. Putting us in these bodies, see, when you learn about, I don't want to get too deep because there's just so much to talk about, brother. There's just so much, man. I wish I had all the time. I got a channel, by the way. YouTube, yeah. If you want to check that out. And all I do is I post some videos. But that's the spirit that you came, because not everyone has an ear for the Lord, brother.
I believe it.
You know, not everyone has an ear for the Lord. Have you ever heard that you was an Israelite though?
Okay.
Have you ever heard that you were an Israel? You never heard that. What's your nationality?
African American.
So, what's your father?
Dad he's the more on the black side.
So, what is that?
Shit, that should get more down to generations, right? So, I mean, he's
So, according to the Bible, let me drop what I had.
Dominican is black.
Okay, so-called Dominicans, Simeon. We were tribes. Jacob had 10 kids. 10 of them are on, how can I put it? Ephraim and Manasseh go back to his son Joseph, okay? But they're part of the 10 tribes because he gave them a blessing, okay? So, but we all go back to Jacob. Well, like that's our great grandfather, okay? And through them, we have an inheritance through Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, his sons. But in that inheritance is the land of Israel. It's immortality, it's the Most High. So we're connected to him. We're a memorial, we're called Zion. It means like, if you see a statue, Esau got statues all over the place, and it's supposed to remind you of that person. Right. That's what we are supposed to be down here. When people see us and our actions, they're supposed to be thinking about the Most High. They're supposed to know that's an Israelite right there. Because when he saved us, right, when he saved us out of Israel, the rest of the nations knew, look what they did, look what the Lord did for them. From Pharaoh, he saved them, they didn't even fight. He just split the sea that day and just took them out all in one day. You know what I mean? Like, the Lord's terrible. So they knew, we can't mess with them. So the Lord, he gave us these laws. He established us under King Solomon and King David. King David fought Goliath. King David fought all these nations. But a lot of our churches and institutions that are here today, they don't really tell you about King David like that. They don't talk about him like he's anything special. When he led a nation, the Lord was dealing with him. Yeah, that's me. The Lord was dealing with him specifically to get, he loved them, man. And under him,
The blood of Jesus.
huh?
The blood of Jesus. The blood of
Right.
David.
That's right. But back to exactly, that's his bloodline. But after he died, then King Solomon. But after that, there was a split. So we went up high, then we fell all the way down to where we're at right now.
Let me pick your brain real quick.
Yeah.
To throw you off.
No, go ahead.
So in this book, right,
Mhm.
this Bible that we read in this this text, this holy text.
Mhm.
What is your thought on the original Ethiopian Bible, where they had they had a couple of books that weren't canonized in their final version? What's your thought? I guess what I'm trying to ask you, what's your thought on the whole Enoch? I know.
Enoch.
Yeah. I know
So Enoch.
they're Ethiopian, but they still had it in them.
Well, okay.
And I know he's mentioned maybe twice in this book.
Enoch. Yeah, well, there's a couple Enoch.
Okay.
So there's one Enoch. Cain had a son named Enoch. So is that did?
You know what the Enoch that
Okay, right. But I just wanted to let you know that there's different. There's multiple Enochs. So that's number one. So Cain had a son named Enoch. The Enoch that was translated. So you're telling me translated and long story short, it doesn't match up with the Old and the New Testament in the Apocrypha. Yeah, it doesn't match up. So a lot of people, what it is when you don't understand, learn this first before you learn Enoch. You get what I'm saying? This Apocrypha. This is on the 16. So if you get the 1611 version of the Bible, these are the books that were missing out of it. Now the Ethiopian book that you're talking about,
these are the 16 books that were missing.
yes, I believe. I don't know if it's 16 or
These are the missing books.
These are the missing books, right? I think somewhere around there, maybe 12, 14, somewhere around there.
That's interesting.
So a lot of people don't read that, but the significance, yeah. So the reason why that's important, because when you go from the book of Malachi all the way to the book of Matthew, you're missing 400 years. So you're talking about from when the Persians came, you just skip over the Greeks, you skip over, you pretty much just, you jump straight into the Roman captivity. So what happened to the Greeks? Why they take that out? You know, so then you start to read about it, and it tells you off the rip, tells you about Alexander the Greek. Okay. Why?
The mystery school and the stolen knowledge and the materials and all that, the libraries.
No. So with Alexander the Greek, just his history. Like, why is he important? Because he's the beginning of the so-called white man's race, ruling. He came in as the Greek. When you read Daniel, so this is what happens. Daniel had these prophecies in Daniel the 8th chapter, and we use the prophecies to kind of line it up with secular history, so we can get understanding of what David was talking about, to see if what he was prophesying, was this true? So it's like a measuring stick. These prophecies are measuring sticks. So the Lord gave Daniel these prophecies, but Daniel didn't really know what the hell was going on. It wasn't for him to know. It was for later on. Because like I said, we came back in the reincarnation. Let me grab this. Daniel, this is a good read. Daniel 8:5. And I was actually, let me start up a little bit. I'll start at 3. Then I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns. This ram represents the Persians, okay? And the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other. So the Persians and the Medes, they shared a kingdom. So the one horn, meaning that the Persians were, they were higher, meaning they had more rulership in that joint rulership. Okay, so the Medes were basically tributary to the Persians. They were paying them a little bit. So even though they were still kind of, well, the Medes came in first, and then you got to read it, but then the Persians took over, but they were both like together. And the Medes would end up being tributary to the Persians, so the horn was higher on the Persian side. Okay, but the ram represents that age when the Persians were ruling. But one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. Meaning it came up last. The higher one came up last because the Medes were in rulership first. So then that horn just got greater once significant. You got to read Daniel the 5th chapter, where Darius the Mede takes down Belshazzar. Okay. I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him. So here it is. You got the Persians coming in. They're taking down They're going into Egypt, Babylon. They're knocking down the Assyrians. You know what I mean? So the Persians took over everything. They were bigger. They had 120 provinces. It's a huge kingdom, right? Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will and became great. So simple. And this is verse 5. And I was considering, behold, a he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth. So when you look at the Middle East, he's coming from Greece. He's coming from the west. Here it is, all east. Persians conquered. He was great. Nobody could. But then you got Greeks. Now you've seen stories of them. See, the thing about the Greeks, they used to fight each other a lot. So the Persians thought, you know what? Let's look at these dudes. Let's get rid of them. And they thought they were mighty because we got 127 provinces. They're already fighting against each other. Let's go in there and take them down. They couldn't take down Esau, man, because once you know the story of the Lord's will, and then you match it up with Enoch. Enoch is fighting against the Lord's will when you have the understanding of it, because he's talking about a hell. See, a lot of that's a whole different story. I don't want to get too deep into Enoch, but I do want you to get deep into this. All right, so the he-goat. Let me get back into this. And I was considering, behold, a he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground, and the he-goat had a notable horn between his eyes. So that notable horn, I believe, is Alexander the Great. Okay, actually, let me just double check in my notes, because I don't want to mess up the Lord's word. Because sometimes it'd be a while I haven't been in this book. Let's see who that notable horn is.
How long you been on here?
I've been out here about an hour. About an hour. Yeah, I live out here. Oh, what am I putting there? Daniel 8:21. Let's see. Alexander the Great. Yeah, that's right. Just double check it. He's that notable horn that Daniel's talking about. Okay. Let me go over here. And touch not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes, talking about Alexander the Great, or the Greek, because no one's great. The Lord makes you great. Like King David, he couldn't have destroyed Goliath unless the Lord was with him. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why I don't call him the Great. I call him the Greek. That's what he was. But the Lord has how can I say, manifest destiny for Esau. So this was manifest destiny for him when he was a Greek. Okay. And he came to the ram that had two horns. This is Daniel 8:6. He came to the Persians that had two horns, and the Persians and the Medes, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And when you read Genesis, the 27th chapter, you're going to learn that Esau was given a great sword. Jacob's brother. That was his blessing. See, Jacob is supplanter. Okay, so long story short, Esau was hungry one day, and Jacob supplanted him. He said, "Sell me your birthright," because he's the second. Jacob was they're twins, but he was born after. So they're the same age, but Esau came out first. Okay, and one day he was coming from the field. He was hungry, and Jake was making some. So and Esau sold his birthright. So typically, when you're the firstborn, you get more of the inheritance. And the blessing went from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I mean, it was supposed to go to Esau, according to just tradition. But the Lord did a different thing, showing you He's Almighty. He chooses who gets blessed. He's in control of all of it. It might have played out in a way that people might say, oh, you might look at it carnally and look at, oh, Jacob, he's a piece of crap. But this is all the Lord. This is all the Lord's. He's moving the pieces. He created you to come here today. That's all on him. If he wanted, he's like, you know what, I'm going to bring him over here, put him here today. He's over here moving somebody else to hear the word. He chooses who's going to hear the word. And then he's going to choose if you're going to receive it or not. Okay? So Daniel 8:6, and he came to the ram that had two horns, which had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power, And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with a choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his two horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. So he destroyed the Persian. So that's how the Greeks came in. But the Greeks, he took over the whole known world, okay? Therefore, the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of the heaven. So after Alexander the Great died, right? That's what Daniel just brought you all the way to this book, okay? This book was taken out because now you don't hear about the he-goat anymore. You don't know about the notable horn. You're not talking about Alexander the Great. Jumps into the Romans, okay? That's why this book is important. And let me show you why. Why would they take this book out? That's the question. Why? Why would they take this book? Why do they only show? And most of them only bring out the New Testament. It's because of the Maccabean period. The Maccabean period is a time when the Israelites were fighting to remain. After Alexander the Great died, it created like a power vacuum. So people died. He said 4 people came up after him, which were people who were trying to, he was the top dude. He was just one. Now you got 4 people saying, nah, I'm king. Nah, you know. So before he died, he split it up between 4 people because I forgot why he died, but he didn't just die from battle. I think he got sick. I forgot. I don't know if he had syphilis. I forgot what they said it was, but he gave his four friends. He split it up in 4. Okay. Then we get to the Maccabean period, right? The book of Maccabees, chapter 101, and it says, and it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian. So when you look up Macedonia, that's in that area. But Philip the Macedonian is Alexander the Great's father, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece, which is talking about Alexander the Great, or the Greek, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. It went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations. Now, when it says the ends of the earth, it's not talking about he came over here. This wasn't, he didn't know about this area. He's talking about the east. You know, well, even though this book also tells you what happened, how the so-called Spanish tribes got here, how the so-called Native Americans got here, because those are Israelites also. Okay, so they came over here, and this book tells you that. Okay, Esdras tells you what happens to the lost 10 tribes. Because right now you got someone in your land, he claims to be the Jewish man, right? But he said he's Jewish. That word ish, that suffix ish means like a Jew. But Jew means Judah. Okay, talking about the Southern Kingdom, talking about these so-called Haitians, West Indians, and Negroes. We would represent the Southern Kingdom. You might be a Judite. You might think you from this, Dominican, this, that, but you might be a Judite. Your father, because it goes by your father's lineage. Now, I know this world teaches you that, well, you could be mixed with multiple things. That's not how it works. See, when your father, Israelites, we go by the seed line of your father. Okay, so whatever your father is and his father, it all goes back to Jacob. All the way back. We're the seed line, okay? So wherever your father, it doesn't matter what your mother is, okay? But, if you go, it went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, and so much that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. See, a tributary is someone that's paying taxes. So if you're paying taxes to somebody, you're being a tributary unto them, meaning you have been conquered, okay? So if you're paying taxes to anybody, you are conquered. The nation of Israel, we're in captivity right now. We're paying taxes. If you don't know who you're paying taxes to, look at your dollar bill. Look at your $5 bill. Okay, scriptures tell you, when the Lord was here, he said, whose space is on the money? Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and render unto the Lord what is the Lord. Okay, so that's how you know who's running this, whoever's face is on the money. Now, go ahead, brother. I try to give you as much as I can, brother.
Yeah, you're welcome, brother.
Yeah, you too, brother.
Cup of coffee on me.
Hey, thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
I'm gonna take out the chin.
Yes, thank you, brother. Nice meeting you, man. That's the spirit, man. I'm gonna finish this. This is First Maccabees 4:1-4, and he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So he parted his kingdom between Lasamicus, Cassander, Ptolemy, and Seleucid. Okay. Well, I still got it, but you gotta always revisit these scriptures, man, because you never know who you're gonna talk to. First Maccabees 1-7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. So in 12 years, man, he was a mighty man. 12 years, man. Woo. That's quick, man. 12 years. He was swinging the sword, man. Okay. And his servants bear rule, everyone in his place. Talking about his sword. That's Amicus, Cassander, Seleucid, Ptolemy. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. And that's the point I wanted to tell the brother before he left, man. Evils was multiplied in the earth. Okay? Showing you, pointing at wickedness. Okay? But like I said, between the Old and the New Testament, you got 400 years that are missing. Okay? So you gotta be able to what happened during that time, man? We were in captivity, man. As a matter of fact, I probably should keep going. That's the spirit, man. Okay? But I'm gonna jump down to verse number. So evils multiply. Why'd I drop it? Yeah, evil's multiplied, man. Let's keep going. Verse 10, and there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. So Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, Antiochus, son of Seleucid. Okay, what he did was he was king over the Syrian Empire. Okay, and or the Seleucid Empire. Okay, by Syria. And when you look into that account when he was hostage at Rome, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, he was in Rome. Okay, and I believe they made a deal after he died. His son Seleucid the second, I believe. I know his son Seleucid reigned, and he wanted to get his brother by sending. There was some trade deal that was going on, and as Antiochus Epiphanes was coming from Rome to come into the Seleucid Empire, things were going on. You got to look into the account, okay? But he was a hostage at Rome. That's the point that I'm trying to make. And he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So when you look into the accounts, when the Israelites were in captivity to the Persians, we were treated pretty good. We were able to build the second temple after the Babylonians and the Edomites took down the first temple. And you can read about that in First Ezra. How you doing today? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you. You know, so what he was doing was King Cyrus allowed us to build the second temple. Okay, but then Artaxerxes was was taken down, man. Okay. He got greedy, but the Lord was dealing with Esau. And if you look at my last video, he's that he-goat, man. He's that goat. He was preserved. Okay. The Lord is using him, man, because he got to sacrifice some bondage, man. All right, so he ran through them. Long story short, and the point that I'm trying to make is that Israel rebuilt the second temple. They were in the land of Jerusalem, the southern kingdom. So the northern kingdom was over here in this land, in the Americas, in the Caribbean islands. They were occupied over here. And you can read that in 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter, 40 to 50. Those 10 verses, man, tell you about your history. If you're a so-called Native American or a Latino, you need to know those 10 scriptures. Okay? And you need to read 2 Kings, the 17th chapter. Okay? Or is it 1 Kings? A lot. Let me just double check. I don't want to. It's been a while since I got into those scriptures, though. It's 1 Kings, the 17th chapter. Okay, when you should read that, you need to know about Shalmaneser. Okay. Okay. Let me just double check, man. It is 2 Kings. So let me see. 2 Kings 17. Yes, 2 Kings 17. I was right. Shalmaneser. Okay. You need to read those two. 2 Kings the 17th chapter and 2nd Esdras the 13th chapter, 40 to 50. Okay, and that tells you about how they were taken down by the Assyrians in 2 Kings the 17th chapter, talking about the northern kingdom, and then the Apocrypha tells you in 2nd Esdras the 13th chapter that they came over here. Okay. So the southern kingdom was in that land, was in Jerusalem, okay, which are you so-called Negroes or African Americans that you calling yourselves today, West Indians, which are you so-called Jamaicans, okay, not just Jamaica, Trinidadians. I forgot the brother I met a couple of days ago. He would also be one of Barbados, okay, and then the Haitians, okay. And Haitians, they would be considered of the southern kingdom, okay? But that word Judah just represents those three tribes because that's who was in that land during that time. But Judah being the head tribe, Judah is a tribe itself, okay? That's the name of it, Judah. Okay, that's where you get Jew from, okay? King Solomon, King David, that's where they came out. Okay, they're part of that lineage. But during that time when they were in that land, man, when after Alexander the Great, you could read it in the book of the Josephus. Alexander the Great actually had some respect for Jerusalem, for the Lord, man. Okay. When he came to Jerusalem, it was respect. And I believe he actually made a sacrifice there too. Like a righteous one, like not swine. Or they made a sacrifice for him, I should say. Okay? He had respect. So, and he said that pretty much he knew who Yahweh was, man. He knew that he had visions that he was gonna be ruling, or he was gonna take over. Okay, and they probably, I believe, they showed him what I just read to this brother, Daniel the 8th chapter, showing him like, yo, you're that he-goat. That's you. That's talking about you. You gonna win. Yeah, keep swinging your sword, man. Now did they go into Genesis the 27th chapter? Maybe they probably told him, oh, you're Esau, okay, you're gonna win, but in the end, actually, Malachi, yeah, so they would have had the book of Malachi because this is after the Persian, unless it wasn't written. I don't know, but I'm speculating. But they did show, they had the book of Daniel. They showed Alexander the Great that, yeah, you know, you're going to win this battle against the Persians. And you got to think the Persians were a very mighty, strong power at that time. The Greeks weren't anything, man. They weren't shit. Okay? They fighting against each other. They doing all types of shit, man. Okay? And the Lord had them destroy them. That's like big bad Babylon going against going against Afghanistan and them conquering the whole world, man. That's how crazy that is. There's like no way in hell that they should have lost to the Persians. They outnumbered them like by a lot. Okay, but that's just goes to show you the Lord don't need a bunch of people, man. That was actually a victory by the Lord. Use the Edomite to take down the Persians, man. The Lord is terrible. Terrible. Okay? So with that being said, with that power vacuum in those four nations, Antiochus Epiphanes and Ptolemy being in Egypt and Antiochus Epiphanes being in like Syria, okay, above Jerusalem, they were in the middle of these two factions that were still fighting over power. Okay, and they wanted to keep their laws, they wanted to keep their customs, but then there was a couple of people that decided, nah, we should join them. Okay, no, we should. So there was a lot of influence being put there. In the Maccabean period, they had to deal with that. They had to fight for their customs, and they established the Hasmonean dynasty. Hopefully I explained that properly, man. To the best of my ability, man. Okay, but that's what you should be looking into. The Hasmonean dynasty. Alexander the Great. The Persians and the Medes, okay? Because that's what this book is talking about, okay? And Antiochus Epiphanes. First Maccabees 1 and 11, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. Yes, since we departed from them, you know, we're trying to keep our laws. Look how much stuff we're going through, okay? Yeah, the Lord will afflict you. That's all part of it, man, because we went off, okay? Micah 7 and 9, man. Let me grab that. You have to acknowledge your sins, man. You have to. That's part of this, man. And the Maccabean period was written for our learning, okay? Micah 7 and verse 9, it says, I will bear the indignation of the Lord. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. The indignation means righteous anger. Because I have sinned against him. Yeah, we sinned against the Most High. He gave us law, statutes, and commandments in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Until he plead my cause. Plead means to judge, okay? Your cause. And execute judgment for me. Yeah, you got to wait upon him for him to execute judgment for us upon these heathen nations that are causing us to be under their thumb, okay? Causing us, feeding us these abominations and being in this state of captivity. He will bring me forth to the light, and we've been brought forth to the light because now we have the true understanding of the Bible, okay? That's how you be brought forth to the light. And I shall behold his righteousness, and we're going to see it when he saves us for listening to him, okay? Back in Maccabees 1 and 12. So this device pleased them well. So the wicked men that was trying to tell people, why don't we be like the heathen? Why don't we just follow their laws and be like them? We can just be wicked and evil like them and people will accept us. No, the Lord said, all right. Then certain of the people, 1 Maccabees 1 and 13, were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Yeah, so they made covenants with these heathen nations so they can be wicked like them. And made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief. Yeah, they were sold to do mischief. They wanted to follow the ways of the Greeks. And when you learn about the Greeks, man, they're very nasty people, okay? They're very nasty. The Greeks were very freaky, okay? They're freaky people, the Greeks. And you've been around them so long, and you're turning into a freak too. That's just what it is. Okay? Learn about the Romans. They were freaks too. I mean, that's the best way to put it. Because that's what they are. Their customs were profane. First Maccabees 1:14, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen. They built a place of exercise, a gymnos, okay, a gym. Okay, but with the Greeks, what they used to like to do, they like to go in the gym naked. That's why you see people looking like they're in the gym all the time, following the ways of the heathen. That's a Greek custom because they like to see your body, okay? That's part of the Greeks. That's why you see that now. Not only that, you're actually being exposed. The Lord's exposing Esau, and he's exposing his women first and foremost, okay? That's why they look and dress like that. That's why they walk around as if they're in a gym, okay? Because they're being exposed by the Lord. And he's going to be exposing Esau soon. He's going to be lifting Esau's skirt very soon, meaning he's going to expose him for all the wickedness that he's done throughout the whole earth. Okay? First Maccabees 1:15, and made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief. Now when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have the dominion of 2 realms. So he wanted to go, he wanted more. Just that's the thing of an Edomite, man. He's never satisfied. Here it is, he was given all this power. He didn't even have to swing a sword. It was given to him, and he still wanted more land. He's just insatiable. That's how Edomites are, okay? And the Lord exposes and tells you about this, and his prophets know about this, but you don't. It's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 15. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine. Wine means philosophies, okay? He transgresses by democracy. He transgresses by these lies that he's pushing out through the rest of the world. His laws, okay? His image, you know, is wicked. You think following him is going to lead to some form of prosperity, but it's actually going to lead to your destruction. He is a proud man. Yeah, pride cometh before destruction. Okay, so that's not the state you want to be in. If you're proud, know you're gonna fall. Okay. Neither keepeth at home. Yeah, he's a fugitive and a vagabond. He goes back to being Cain. Okay. Who enlargeth his desire as hell. Yeah, hell is the grave. The grave's always accepting new tenants. The grave always wants a new tenant. And is as death. Yeah, he's like death. Death has never stopped ever since it was created, man. Since sin entered into the world, there was nothing. He never stopped. It just keeps going. Killing, accepting death. It's this death. It just keeps going and going and going. It cannot be satisfied. Yeah, he can't be satisfied no matter what you do. You can give him a whole damn land, a quarter of your empire, and what is he gonna do? He's gonna even try to take it from his own brother, man. Scriptures tell you that he's a niggard at his own table. Let me grab that, because that's what he is. Here it is, Alexander the Great did all the war, all the fighting, gave it to you, and that wasn't enough. Okay? What's that precept? Niggard. Niggard at the table. Sirach 14:10, a wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at his table. Yeah, he's envying other people's bread. He sees Ptolemy up there, down there in Egypt, and he's like, damn, man, I wish I got that land. He's covetous. So what does he do? He's gonna go take it by the sword. That's Esau. That's what he does. Okay? He's insatiable. And that's why Russia ain't fucking with him. He knows he's a dead Edomite. Who would know a devil more so than the devil himself? But gathereth unto him all nations. Yeah, he gathered unto him all nations. Okay? Literally, and now look at everybody. Everyone come here. He's not gathering you anymore. Now you can just come over here willy-nilly whenever you want to. You don't gotta fucking wait and get kidnapped to come over here like the Negroes did. You can just walk over here and be as wicked as you want to be. Okay? And heapeth unto him all people. Yeah, he's heaping unto himself all people, man. He's never had enough. Where was I? First Maccabees 1:16. Now when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt that he might have the dominion of 2 realms. So he wanted to steal from his brother. Like his literal brother, someone he looks at as another Greek. Okay? Not like Jacob, Israel type of relationship, Jacob, Esau type of thing. Nah, but he gonna go through Jake to get to his so-called brother. He don't care about no one but his belly. Okay, let me grab that. Let me grab that. Let's see, Philippians 3:19. Philippians. Are you gonna give me the? Let me grab it up. Philippians 3. Philippians 3:19, whose end is actually, let me start at 18. For many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Hamashiach, whose end is destruction, whose power is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things. Yeah, that's Esau. Okay? That's Esau. That's the mindset of Esau, man. He minds earthly things. Land, that's earthly. Pottage, that's earthly. Scriptures tell you that he despised his birthright. He didn't want it, man. He don't care about spiritual things. He cares about carnal things. Okay? First Maccabees 1:17, wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots and elephants and horsemen and a great navy. So he was powerful, he was strong. Sounds like Esau. And made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt, but Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death. So he was strong too. Antiochus was winning battles. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again in the 143rd year and went up against Israel in Jerusalem with a great multitude. So now he's going up against Israel. He's bloodthirsty, man. Scriptures tell you he's not satisfied with blood. Let me grab that. Let me grab that. He's not satisfied with blood. Damn devil. This is his lineage. Sirach 12:16, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. In this scripture, I should have waited a little bit because it's perfect. It perfectly goes with Antiochus Epiphanes, because watch what he does. He speaks sweetly with his lips. Okay? First Maccabees 1:21, and entered proudly into the sanctuary. So now he's in Jerusalem. And took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light and all the vessels. It's lucky. And all the vessels, where am I? And all the vessels thereof, Slot. First Maccabees 1:22. And the table of the showbread and the pouring vessels and the vials and the censers of gold and the veil and the crowns and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off. So he robbed us. He stole from Israel. Esau robbed us, man. He took also the silver and the gold and the precious vessels. Also, he took the hidden treasures which he found. The hidden treasures, he took it all, man. He has our wealth. He robbed us a long time ago. And when he had, 1 Maccabees 1:24, taken all away, it says he'd taken all away. He went into his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly. Yeah, he made a great massacre, man. Then she just killed his Greek brother, and then he killed his other brother, Israel. You know, he don't care about nobody but his belly. Okay, that's his God. Therefore, there was great mourning in Israel, 1 Maccabees 1:25, in every place where they were. Yeah, there was a great mourning after that great slaughter. So that the princes and elders mourned, and the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed. Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness. The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude. Yeah, his chief collector. He wanted them to be tributary unto him after he just robbed them. That is what Esau does. He'll rob you, take all your stuff, and then tell you, pay me taxes. That's why this devil needs to go down, man. Okay? We'll grab Baruch 3 and 8. Grab Baruch 3 and 8. I'm going to finish this up because I don't have enough time to run through all of it. It's the book of Baruch 3 and 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power. So we're still in captivity to this day, and we're still subject to payments. We're still being tributary to who? To this damn Edomite, Esau. 1 Maccabees 1:29. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute to the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceably words unto them, but all was deceit. See, they were all deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore, and destroyed much people of Israel. So not only did he rob them, take all their stuff, then send a chief collector 2 years later to collect more. He was speaking to them sweetly, and then what does he do? He does it all over again. Okay, that is an Edomite. Okay, and the scriptures warn you about this man. Ecclesiasticus 12 verse 10, it says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. See, oh, I'm a new man, you know, just pay his tributary, you know, it's 2 years later, that's old news. Okay, though he humble himself, he go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. You got to be aware of him, man. No, don't forget what he did after he just, that's how you know you're Rashid. You're simple. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. Yeah, do you forgot what he did 2 years ago? Now he's telling you to pay taxes? And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Yeah, you're going to know that his rust is not together wiped away when he pokes your ass with a rusty sword. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Yeah, he's going to stand up in your place. He's going to pay you tributary. Everything's going to be all right. He's going to take you down. Okay? Lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with the serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast? He's a wild beast. Okay? He's a wild beast of a man. Okay? And he's a serpent. So if you trusted in a serpent, and that serpent bites you with a poisonous thing, and your ass dies, hey, the water Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. That's what you get. We're going to clap our hands. Okay? 1 Maccabees 1:31. And when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire, and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side. But the women and children took they captive, and possessed the cattle. Then builded they the city of David with a great and strong wall, and with mighty towers, and made it a stronghold for them. Okay, they made it a stronghold for them. Okay. So here it is, they robbed them again. You know, first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. Okay? You should have been prepared for the battle. Okay? You should have knew he was coming back to spoil more. Okay? He's like Debo. in that case, in this case. Okay? But he's going to be taken down. First Maccabees 1:33, then builded they the city of David with a great and strong wall and with mighty towers and made it a stronghold for them. And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. Yeah, they made themselves a sinful nation. Okay? That's what this place is. That's what Babylon is. Okay? Showing you parallels between what he's done then and what he's done now. He's that rusty iron. Okay? As a matter of fact, I'm going to end it with this one. The book of Amos 9:8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that it will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. So he's going to destroy this place, man. He remembers all these things that you did, Esau. He remembers your sins, man. And what sin? Sin's the transgression of the law. And that's what this man does. He transgresses the laws. Okay? You can't trust this devil, man. So with that, I'm going to end it right there. Lord willing, that was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak, B'dash. Shalom.